to the Lituation Room. What is good, everyone? It's your girl, Alicia B, and you are now in the place to be. Welcome to the Lituation Room. You already know the vibes. You've heard the episodes. We are here now. So if you want to go back and watch the other episodes or listen to the other episodes, I'll give you 5 seconds. Go. That was good. All right. So now that you're caught up, hey, how you doing? How your family? Well, I have an amazing guest here. So I'm going to just let him introduce himself.
What's up, y'all? This is Thom from the DMV, from PG County, Maryland. Rapper, entrepreneur, got a record label. Shout out GodVZN, shout out the whole team. And I'm here with the Lituation. We about to get lit.
So you already know I have a very big love for the DMV, especially PG County, because that's where I am. That's where I'm from. It feels really good to have a PG County artist repped on my podcast. So obviously we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and we're going to get to the amazing album that you have out called Lucid. But we're just going to start off real easy because obviously we want to make sure that my audience knows who you are. So first and foremost, what made you want to first get into music? Like, when was the moment that you were just like, yeah, I got to do this?
I think growing up as a kid, it's always just something I wanted to pursue. My grandfather, he was a drummer back in the day, and then my dad was a DJ. And just growing up, like in my house, we listened to a lot of different types of music. I wrote my first rap at 11, and I still got that joint.
Let me hear it.
Nah, I actually started taking it serious when I got to college. So I would probably say like sophomore year of college was when I went ahead and bought like my own studio equipment and then really started recording for real and taking it, serious and trying to really perfect my craft. That's when I officially got started, but I pretty much been rapping and writing my whole life though.
All right. So as an artist, how would you describe your music to someone who hasn't listened to it before? Like, what vibe do you want to give off?
I think the biggest thing for me is just being authentic. I have a lot of different influences. I listen to a lot of different stuff. I can't really put myself in a box because I make so many different types of music, and you probably heard it already just with the album. There's just so many different types of sounds that have inspired me over the years. If I was to describe my sound, I mean, it's a mix between a lot. We draw influences from everywhere, but I think the biggest thing too is just remaining myself throughout everything, taking inspiration and just seeing where things fit and kind of making it something that's my own. So that's how I would probably describe my sound.
So you said influences. Who are your top 5 influences? Make it a little hard.
All right, so I would say Drake, Jay-Z, Biggie. Then it gets tricky after that. Like that 2010s era with all the mixtapes going on, you had dudes like Tyler the Creator. That was when J. Cole was coming up. There was another favorite. Yep. I really like Isaiah Rashad a lot. Mac Miller, Wale, another hometown legend. I can't really give you a 5 for real.
Okay. I'll let you have that. Because you did list more than 5, but I'll let you have it because it's kind of hard. Right now, as a person that's on this journey of making music, what is the title of this part of your journey right now? Like, if you had to put a title on it, what would this part of your journey be?
I think I'm at a point of transition right now. I had to put a label on it. I think I've taken this music thing to the next level in a lot of different ways, just sonically. With the things I got going on around me, I think I got a good team around me. Like I said, we got the record label GodVZN. We're doing a lot of different things, making a lot of moves, trying to make a lot of noise. We got a bunch of different artists with us right now. My boy Moso's DC, he's from DC. My boy Dre Waves, he's on the label too. I think right now I'm just in a period of transition and just growing and try to take everything to the next level. I think now, even with the project that will be out by the time this come out, but I think this is the first time I really just been confident with every song going into a project. I don't think I have any second thoughts on any of the music at all. This is the first time I've really been excited for everyone to hear and put it on a bigger platform for everyone to hear,
Right.
I think that's about the transition. That's the place I'm in right now. If I had a title, a little transition period.
With this project that's coming out, it's going to be on all streaming platforms, right?
Yep.
So were prior projects just SoundCloud releases?
Nah, so I pretty much had everything on all platforms since, I would say, early 2017. I released my official mixtape, like real big project, on Apple Music. It was a couple of projects that did on SoundCloud when I first started out. And I look at those as a practice, starting off, putting it out, getting used to recording, and just the whole process. And when I felt like the music was at the quality I wanted it to be at, then that's when we could put it on these bigger platforms and see what they do from there.
From your first project to now, what do you think that you've grown the most, whether it's your flow, your lyricism? What do you feel is the biggest thing that you've improved on?
I think my confidence. I think a lot of times with music, you got to go in knowing you that nigga. It's like with anything, even with sports. I hooped all my life and I hooped in college too. So I think I have that competitive nature where I want to be the best. I'm not really looking at everyone else. I'm trying to outdo myself. So I think over the years, I've just grown, even with content, lyrics, everything. To me, every project is like a stepping stone. So every time I drop something, it's supposed to be better than the last thing. I'm just trying to constantly outdo myself. I think my overall just process has just gotten way more efficient. My pen has gotten sharper. Even thoughts and ideas I have just in concepts with creating albums and songs now is just completely different from 3 years ago.
So now that you're with GodVZN, how do you feel like they've been helping you become a better artist?
Well, to keep it a stack, I came up with the label 4 years ago. We just got off the ground, I'll say November 2019. This was something that I created along with a couple of my good friends, my boy Mo, my other boy Delonte, and then my boy Dre. I came up with the idea, and I've actually had the logos since 2016. I wasn't at a point where I was ready to go all in with it until the quality of the music caught up, and just the skill, and everybody was in a position where we all could really nurture it and pay attention to it and give it the type of push we need so it can really get big. We got a lot of things going on now. We moving forward with GodVZN and doing all that stuff. I think even just early on, I didn't really have a team around me. I think it's mad difficult like, being an independent artist and doing everything by yourself. So I mix and match all my projects too. I think just having people around me, you get a lot of different opinions and different perspectives on what to do. I know my friends, they're not scared to criticize me and tell me when something's whack. This is a little kick in the ass to make you want to work harder and be the best you can be.
Shout out to them friends that will kick you in the ass when you need to. I understand. Let's get into this project because that's what we really here for. Right. So it's called Lucid. Explain why you titled this album Lucid.
Lucid basically was a concept I came up with about, I would say, late 2019. We're just going through a lot of shit around that time, just legal trouble and dumb shit. I think the biggest thing for me was back then I didn't really feel like I had a good grasp or control on everything that was going on. Even with my goals and stuff, I was a little off track. And I think making this project was a way to get me back on track. The overall message of it, in my opinion, is if you have a dream or a goal or anything, we all have more control than what we think over situations and just over everything in general. I think the whole point of the project is if you have something you're chasing, just go after it and go get it. Like lucid dreaming, there's so many like ins and outs to the project. Like even the concept of just lucid dreaming and all that, while you're asleep, being able to control your dreams. That's literally the whole premise of the album for real.
This is a 14-track album. Obviously, as an artist, there's a bunch of songs that you write and then scrap out. At the beginning of this process, how many songs did you think were going to be on the album?
I would say I recorded a lot. After the overall recording, we probably had like 22 records and then trimmed it down to 14. No, trimmed it down to 15. Then I ended up cutting the song last minute and then it was 14. And the last 3 are actually bonus tracks. So the real track list is 11 tracks for real. And then we got the 3 bonus joints just because that was stuff we was working on at the same time in that little time frame. We probably had like 20 plus records, almost like 25. Song.
For aspiring artists out there, how is the process of getting that down to the final project? I feel like it's a sense of just knowing that this is what's going to happen. So what's the process that you have to go with you and your team, getting it to that final thing that people are going to see?
You really just know. I think when you listen to songs, I like sequence in albums too. So I like things to really flow and just go in, not order, but it has to make sense sonically. So I think even before I write songs, I already have an idea of how many I'm going to have, what the sound is going to be like, the overall sound and just sequence of the album, how I want it to go, like what points I want it to be high and low and all that. It's just one of the things you just know. I let the people closest to me listen to the stuff I'm working on before I put it out. So, I mean, I get a lot of opinions and second looks. I think it's just one of the things you just really know, like as an artist. It's hard to even explain. Like, you know what sounds right and you know what sounds wrong and what should go where and where something shouldn't go.
So when I was listening to the album, I definitely heard the sequencing. And I'm very big on sequencing. I was talking to my last guest about this. There was a YouTube video that I posted on my page that said that the art of album sequencing is losing its traction a little bit. It was very prevalent back in the Kanye graduation days where album sequencing was very important. If you did not have a story, if it did not flow properly, your album was trash.
That's my whole thing for every project. It has to flow.
So I'm glad to hear and to see that album sequencing is so important to you. I'm seeing a whole bunch of producers on these. What is the number one thing that you look for when you're hearing a beat or you're hearing someone's production, what are you looking for? This album got some fire ass beats, let me tell you. So like, what is the thing that you like, okay, that's good. Like that, I want to use that, or that's good. Let's tweak it a little bit.
In order for me to rap on something or sing on something or just do anything on a beat, I have to be able to spill immediately. It has to move me. So if the beat doesn't move me, I'm not going to get on it. We went through hundreds of beats for this shit, like messing with different producers, trying to figure out the overall sound. Honestly, it just has to move me. Like if it's not moving me, I'm not going to be able to give it 100%. The writing isn't going to be, it's going to feel forced. I don't want anything to feel forced. I want it to all feel organic and just flow.
So it's probably going to be a hard question, but I'm going to just ask.
Go ahead. I'm with whatever. I'm with all the smoke. Go ahead.
All right. So albums are your babies. Your project is your baby. But as of right now, what do you think is your best song that is on this project?
Right.
I told you it was going to be hard.
Damn, because it changes every time I listen to it. That's how I know it's a good project. It changes every time I listen to it. I could probably give you a song that means the most.
Okay.
A song that probably means the most to me on a project, I would say Catching Up. It's supposed to be the outro. I would say that song is probably my favorite to a certain degree just because of when I wrote it and what was going on at that time. But then you got tracks like Ben's Truck. I'm gonna put it like this: Sligo Creek, Ben's Truck, Catching Up, and Conversations with Smitty. All those songs were written in the same time period, maybe even the same 2-week frame. So those 4 set the tone for the whole album pretty much. If I had to give it a favorite,
hey, I told you it was gonna be hard. You said you was ready.
Yeah, I would say Catching Up, though. Catching Up means the most to me. It captures pretty much what was going on at that time frame. And I think it's a good way to just end the project. It's kind of like the aha moment. And then you got the 3 bonus tracks at the end. But I would say Catching Up.
No, I can definitely tell that. I didn't know that it was the end of the project, but I could tell that it was just like through the journey of the project, that was definitely a nice way to end it off. It was like a moment. Like, okay, so you're all about creating your own narrative. What do you feel narrative right now is?
I think Thom's narrative is being able to 100% unapologetically be yourself. I think with a lot of this stuff, people with music, you're constantly getting judged every day. Every time you put something out, you're putting it out to the world to be judged. I think most of the most successful artists to me, they're the ones that are able to just portray themselves as a human and just be 100% authentic. Those are my favorite artists. I think that's the biggest goal I have. And just with my narrative in general, I just want to be able to show people that you can do things your way and still be successful. You don't have to follow the norms and you don't have to follow what everyone else thinks you should do. You should be able to do whatever feels right. That's something I constantly think about every day, even when I'm creating or just going through my everyday life, or just 100% being authentic and being myself, never folding, just being 100% true to self. I think that's the narrative. And just being transparent. And talking about real things in life, like we all go through real shit. You never know what someone else is going through. So I think music is also a way for me to give everybody a lens of what I have going on and how I'm feeling at the moment. They're like chapters in my life. Like that's how I look at albums. They're just chapters of what was going on in that time frame.
Are you ever scared because they're so personal when they're about to drop? Have you ever been like, I don't know if I wanted to drop no more because, you know, people are going to really see a side of me that you probably haven't really seen unless you're listening to the music. Has it ever been nerve-wracking for when a project's about to drop?
Honestly, I stopped being nervous after the first project.
Okay.
And that's not even on some like cocky, arrogant shit. I think I like the feeling of just letting people in and knowing more about me, as weird as that may seem, because I'm not even really a super outgoing guy. But music is my way to just release, you know. I don't really get nervous. It's nerve-wracking. The process before putting out a project is nerve-wracking. That's what's the most nerve-wracking, like getting everything together. But when the music is out, I'm just waiting on people's opinions. And I mean, I know everybody's not gonna like everything, but I'm fucking with the people that's fucking with me. That's how I look at it. It's never really nerves. It's always good energy. I try to keep good energy every time I'm dropping something.
What was the first song that you worked on for this project?
It was Ben's Truck. That's the third song on the album. Crazy thing is, it dropped in June 2020. That song had been completely finished, I would say October 2019. So I held on to that joint for probably like 9 months. Was it like 10 months? Almost a year for real. And the album comes out a year after I made the song. So Ben's Truck was the first one that I recorded.
When you're starting to record and it's a fresh new song, what's the first thing that you do?
I turn the music all the way up, blast it, and just start mumbling just bullshit. Like trying to come up with melodies and flows. Once I'm able to come up with that, it's like a puzzle and putting it together. It's putting pieces in the right spot. That's how I look at the words. So the words are the pieces to the puzzle. So once I come up with flows, I start figuring out what the words are and what's being said, and then I just go. It's honestly like it's a crazy experience writing a song. That shit is wild.
Do you think that you would be able to just come up with a song from thin air?
Yes and no. It really depends. It depends on the beat for real. Because obviously, just with rap in general, like, niggas is always gonna flex. Niggas is always gonna talk their shit. I think it's always good having a balance between like that and just real life shit. I'm gonna have my points when I'm talking that shit. It's still gonna be balanced out and evened out with just real authentic things that are actually going on with me.
All right, I asked that because now I'm gonna give you a choice of a game. So either you can do a game called Song Association where I give you a word and you have to sing or rap a song that has that word in it in the lyrics or the title, or I give you a word and you have to write a lyric for that word. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna give you a word. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds. It's gonna be real quick. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to sing a song that has that word in the title or in the lyrics.
That's a bet.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So the first word is going to be please.
Chief Keef, please, yeah.
So that's 1 point. Next word is good.
I'm too good to you. I'm too good to you. Yeah, that's too.
Okay, let me see if I can give you a harder one, because no. Okay. Fire. 5.
You don't say
1.
I folded on that.
What song were you thinking?
Fire and Desire.
You could have sang it.
But I was.
It's in the title. Okay. I'm going to give you Way.
Way?
Mm-hmm. Put Out of the Way up in there.
Oh!
You ain't even do your own song, friend.
Yeah.
It's okay. I tried to throw it in there as a promo. Come on. Okay. Speaking of come on, come.
All these shits are Drake songs. He be asking the ground, come through. You
said you was a Drake fan, so I'm not surprised. I'm gonna give you 2 more. All right, let's see what I'm seeing. Let's see how I'm feeling. Okay, breathe.
Breathe?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. 1 and then the 2, 2 and then the 3, 3 and then the 4. Then you gotta breathe.
That was good though. That was good. I wasn't even thinking of that song.
We could go all day.
Okay, I said I was only gonna do 2 more, but I'm gonna just do 1 more just for, late.
What's the late text joint?
Yes, I love that. You did good though. You did good.
What I missed, like one for real?
Yeah, you missed 1.5 technically because you didn't do your own song, but
it's all good. I crushed that.
All right. We talked about the project. We did a little game. As artists who are listening to this right now, with how 2020 has been going for everyone, how have you been staying motivated to put this project out and to continue to write music and coming up with treatments and different music videos? How do you stay motivated to keep cranking out content?
I think the biggest thing for me, I finished the project in March. So I finished it literally like the week all this corona shit and COVID shit popped off. I was going to drop it earlier, but I had time to really sit down and just craft and work on everything outside of the actual music. Like even with just videos and getting the label together and being motivated with that. We took, I would say, from like mid-March to July, we really sat down. Me and my team really sat down and got everything together for our record label. And we was just getting shit together for the treatments, just building relationships with videographers and stuff. I mean, even staying motivated. I mean, it's hard because at first you couldn't really be outside how you wanted to, just with everything going on. I had to dig deep and constantly remind myself to just work every day. Even if it's something small, just do something every day to move forward. The people around me, like we all just constantly working, like recording and just coming up with new shit just all the time. I think the people around me were able to help keep me motivated as well. Just the people I'm working with, like the whole team, for real.
With this time, I feel like a lot of artists have been getting really creative on how to still make connections with their fans and make these venues and concerts to their liking. So a lot of artists have been doing a lot of live over the internet concerts. Are you and your label coming up with something creative for your fans that you want to plug real quick, as a little exclusive? Or what are some things that you're doing to help promote this project?
So we definitely have a lot of videos. We drop bands. I would say it's a total of 6 videos that are going to be out for the project. Got a virtual concert coming up at the end of the month. I'm going to put that out there. We got a virtual concert that's going to be out there soon. I'm working on right now trying to lock in because I'm doing a virtual concert with this other little platform. We're actually working on having a live band and performing with them and just going through the whole album. Hopefully we can get that out before the end of the year.
Okay, so y'all keep a lookout.
Yeah, so. You
got to go follow him, clearly. So we just going to ask him to drop his socials real quick.
All right, so y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Thom the God. That's TYTHOMBAGAW.
Y'all need to pay attention because it's not spelled the normal way that you would hear it. So he gonna say it one more time.
THOMBAGAWD.
You definitely have to stay on a lock with that. Now they're talking about performing. How do you go about making the proper set list, treatments for the concert and performance? Like, what's your most important part of performing?
Is probably just your overall energy. I think if people are not gonna fuck with you if you're not fucking with you. So, I mean, just being confident going on stage, you knowing you about to rock that bitch for real. That's how I go into it. And I would say that's probably the only time nerves come in, performing in front of people. I think I'm cool with just releasing, but just being in front of people in the flesh, I think that's something that I've really grown to just like. And it's almost like going out to a basketball game. That's how I look at it. Performing in front of people, showing them what you got. And they're going to believe you as much as you believe in yourself. So if you ain't really confident on stage and fucking with yourself and believing in what you got going on and what you're doing up there, then they're going to look at you like you stupid and boo you on stage. But if you're up there giving energy and giving it 100%, even when you messing up, because there will be points you mess up. I've done it. Even if you're up there just being confident, I think that's the biggest thing, and just having an overall good sequence with the music. Just finding a way to keep people engaged. Yeah, I would say those are the biggest parts. Just set list and overall energy and performance, your showmanship.
Yeah. The DMV is real quick to tell you if they like you or not when you're performing. It's low-key like the Apollo. And they will tell you about yourself while you're on stage with the mic in your hand. So you better be good. Or you need to go. With performing, you probably have some dream people that you want to open for, or people that you want to open for you, because we're putting that in the atmosphere. Who do you want to open for, and who would you want to go on tour with?
It's like, I want to fuck with everybody. Even my favorite artists, I'm going to say this the whole interview, but I don't even care. Niggas like Drake, I really fuck with Drake. And just what he's done over the past decade is just crazy to me. And what he's continuing to do. But someone like him, I like Dreamville a lot. I like J. Cole and all them, the JID, Isaiah Rashad, Schoolboy Q, dudes at TDE. Damn, I'm folding because it's a lot of people I want to work with and just go on tour with. That would be so tight. And even just having people opening up for me, that would be crazy. I definitely want to be in a position where I could put young artists in a position to succeed and just to be seen. That would be tight. I don't really have anybody off top, really, that I could give you, but I would say I do want to tour with my niggas and my team. I think we would have some crazy shit. Like just me and my homeboys, that shit would be tight.
Now that the project's out, what's next for you? What should we expect from the team, from you, from Lucid?
We smacking niggas in the face with videos. I'm actually working on another project.
Already?
We're done with that. It's an R&B joint, but I'm going to give that to y'all when the time comes. That'll probably be like late 2021, maybe summer 2021. We'll see. Even with the label, like I know my boy Dre Waves, he's dropping soon. He got a lot of good music. We actually have a collab. He's on the album too. We got a collab that he's dropping probably sometime next year on his next album. My boy Moso's DC, bro about to start dropping again probably in like November. I don't know if he wanted me to say that. He's actually here right now, but I don't care. I'm gonna plug my man. He's working on a lot though. He's another dude. He's someone that pushes me. We've been pushing each other since high school. We've been best friends since 9th grade. We came up with this rap shit together. So he's someone that constantly pushes me to get better and just to, elevate my pen and just my overall artistry. So I mean, he's dropping soon.
We won't ask any more questions because we don't want you getting caught up. So my last question is, if you could say one thing to your fans and now new fans, what would it be?
That's a good question. It would be this joint that you stumped me on. I would say to the people that are listening to me and that will listen to me, I would say I just appreciate everybody that's just fucking with me. I think for me, it really doesn't even matter how many people are listening. It could be one person. It could be a million people. I'm going to be forever grateful that somebody's tapping in. And I want to be able to give that feeling that I had listening to my favorite artist for the first time and just having projects, listening to stuff that I really connected with at a certain time in my life. I want to give those types of gifts and gems to people. For the fans and new fans, I'm not stopping. I'm going to keep going. So y'all going to get a lot of music from me. Shout out to everybody for just tapping in, just fucking with me. This is only the beginning.
And we ended it on a good note. I love it. I love it. So go ahead and plug everybody, the label, you again, just so that they can know where to find you.
All right, bet that. So the label is GodVZN LLC. Y'all can visit the website at www.godvzn.com, and that's GODVZN. Shout out to Mo, shout out to Dre, shout out to my boy Delonte, shout out to just everybody that's fucking with the label and what we got going on. Shout out to you too for having me. I appreciate it. You know, this is not going unnoticed. This joint was lit. Shout out to God and my family. Those are more people that keep me going and to keep me grounded. I say shout out to all the supporters as well.
Well, I'm excited to hear what's coming next. Y'all can definitely go and listen to Lucid. It's out now on all streaming platforms. Run it up. If y'all haven't seen the little thing that's been going around on social media about how if you actually buy the album, they get more streams instead of just the one stream that you get when you streaming it. So if you want to just go buy the project, I mean, I wouldn't stop you. He wouldn't stop. Follow him so that you can stay up to date. Follow us on Instagram, our pod. Over on Twitter at The Lituation RMP. Also, we have a website, www.thelituationroompodcast.co. So you can definitely check that out. And if you want to be a guest, that is the best way to get in contact with me. But thank you again, Ty, for being on this. I'm super excited for everything that you have coming soon. And you know I'll be watching. So
I appreciate it. I appreciate you too for having me on. This platform is fucking dope, man. We need way more Black women in this space. I'm gonna just say that too. We need way more Black women. Black women, the most talented people on the earth. I don't care what nobody.
And y'all heard them, period. So I will see y'all in the next episode.